They told us it was a gift from kings, the pride of the Spanish nobility, conquering a new world, the golden symbol of the empire, galloping across the Americas. That's the story we were told about the Criollo horse, and it's a half-truth. But what is a half-truth if not the shadow of a lie? The story you were told about the origin of this horse, the true heart of our pampas, plains and prairies, hides a fundamental part, an origin far older, rougher, more epic. The true blood that helped conquer America didn't come from a palace, but from the sands of an African desert. Stay with me, and I'll tell you the whole story. The story of how the blood of a forgotten warrior became the DNA of the horse that truly forged our continent. The founding myth, the horse of the conquistadors. The official story begins in 1493, on Christopher Columbus's second voyage. That's when the first European horses set foot on American soil again, after their local ancestors had gone extinct on the continent some 10,000 to 11,000 years earlier. From there, with the conquistadors' expeditions, came hundreds, then thousands. Pedro de Mendoza introduced them to the Rio de la Plata region in 1536, and from that point, the image was sealed. The Spanish conquistador, imposing atop his magnificent Andalusian horse. That's the horse we see in the paintings, an almost mythological animal that, together with gunpowder and steel, became a tool of conquest. The narrative is simple. The Criollo horse is a direct descendant of these noble Spanish steeds, a purebred Spaniard born in America. For a long time, we accepted this version. The Criollo was a legacy of Spain. But if that were the whole truth, there are things that simply don't add up. The doubt, the uncomfortable questions. If the Criollo descends from the fine horses of the Spanish nobility, how do we explain its almost wild nature? How did an animal imagined in the palaces of Andalusia become the marvel of endurance it is today? Think about the Criollo. It's a medium-sized horse, compact, muscular. It's not the elegant, stylized animal we picture in a royal court. Its hooves are famously hard, able to gallop over difficult terrain, often without horseshoes. Its hardiness is astonishing. It survives the freezing winters of Patagonia and the suffocating heat of the plains, feeding on whatever it finds and resisting disease. And then there are its coats, the dun and grullo coats with their characteristic mule stripe, primitive markings that evoke a much older, wilder ancestor. These traits don't speak of a luxury animal, they speak of a survivor. History itself gives us the first clue. The horses the conquistadors brought weren't only elite stallions. The romantic image of the magnificent Andalusian simplifies reality. For the brutal task of conquest, they needed working animals, strong, resistant, and above all, functional. Horses like the jacas and rosines of the Iberian Peninsula, animals of daily use, not of parade. And these working horses already carried a secret in their blood. To find it, we have to travel 800 years before Columbus, to the year 711. The hidden chapter, the warrior of the desert. In the year 711, Muslim armies crossed the Strait of Gibraltar, and with them, they brought their most formidable ally, the Berber horse, native to North Africa from the Maghreb region. This was no luxury horse. It was a warrior forged in the harshness of the desert. It was an animal of almost supernatural endurance, sober, with an incredible capacity for adaptation. For nearly 8 centuries, the blood of this African warrior mixed with the native Iberian horses. Although the Christian nobility would eventually develop its own horse lines, the Berber's DNA, its endurance and hardiness, remained latent in the peninsula's horse stock, especially in the working horses. This is the point the official history simplifies. The horse that arrived in America wasn't a pure Spanish horse in the sense we imagine. It was, to a large degree, a mixed animal, a product of centuries of Iberian history that carried the deep influence of the tough North African horse. The needs of the conquest naturally favored endurance over elegance. Without knowing it, they weren't sending only the king's horse, but also the mixed-blood descendant of a desert warrior. The rebirth, the horse of the Gaucho. When the people of these lands, first the indigenous peoples, and then the Gauchos, Huasos, and Llaneros, needed a companion to tame the continent, they didn't look in a stable. They looked to the plains. They were the ones who saw the value in that small, rough, wild horse. They tamed it, creating a bond of trust and work. This horse, forged in freedom, became the indispensable tool and inseparable companion of the American countryman. With it, cattle were herded, wars of independence were fought, and the identity of entire nations was forged. When, at the beginning of the 20th century, visionary breeders like the Argentine Emilio Solonet sought to rescue the breed from indiscriminate crossbreeding, they didn't have to create anything. They simply searched the most isolated herds of Patagonia for the specimens that still preserved the purity and toughness that natural selection had given them. The legendary journey of Mancha and Gato from Buenos Aires to New York was the definitive proof, showing the world what America had forged. The story of the Criollo is the story of America, a tale of mixture, survival, and reinvention. It's proof that true treasures don't always come from palaces. They're forged in adversity. If you found this story fascinating, subscribe and turn on notifications. On this channel, we'll keep unearthing the hidden truths of our continent. And tell us in the comments, what other story you were told as a child do you think hides something more? So the next time you see a Criollo horse, don't think only of Columbus's caravels. Think of the sands of the Sahara, of the centuries of history on the Iberian Peninsula, and above all, of the centuries of freedom and struggle on the American pampas. The Criollo horse isn't a lie, but the story we were told was incomplete. Its base is Iberian, yes, but it's much more than that. It's the sum of 3 continents. It has the history of Europe as its starting point, the endurance of Africa in its veins, and above all, the untamable soul of America, forged in its heart. Its story isn't a gift from kings, it's a conquest of its own. And that is a far more epic truth.